This is not some college course where you memorize prompts and you buy them. So many people do this. Why buy a prompt when you can learn how to teach AI your style and how not to spend all your life throwing out sentences, going into the roulette wheel of generative AI called ChatGPT, Claude, whatever, and hoping what comes out is better than what you have.
When ChatGPT gives you rambling nonsense, the problem isn't your prompt, it's a conversation breakdown. Discover how understanding your natural communication style leads to questions that get exactly what you need, not AI gibberish.
But I see people getting stuck. I'm going to show you how to map your natural patterns and then teach AI how to converse about them and how to understand. Because this isn't changing the way you communicate. It's about making AI adapt to you. Communication is a mucky thing. AI does a really good job of helping you out if you're willing to understand your own style. What style is distinctly yours? So what I want you to do is take your last 5 emails, messages, anything you've written recently. Look at the first sentence of each paragraph. Do you start with questions? Make big, bold statements, or just say, hey, hello, how are you? Do you use stories? Notice these patterns. They're the foundation of how you naturally communicate. And you can also make notes of it so that when you're training ChatGPT about your voice, this is getting to know yourself. What are those patterns? So take those out, take 3 to 5 examples, and see the patterns you have. Read them out loud, because words don't just exist on a page. An email is actually read aloud in the mind of the user. And a lot of times people do not read that out loud. And we have tools like HeyGen and other things that'll give us voices that'll read them to us. So use them. After you notice your word patterns, let's go into your word inventory. Make a quick list of the phrases and words that you use often. There's many styles. What's yours? So after those 2 exercises, after teaching AI your style, consistency matters. Choose those 3 to 5 examples of your writing or communication, the ones that feel most natural to you. And ask people the ones, if they have favorites, if you've communicated, if there's anything they can pull out, but don't go overboard. 3 to 5 is fine at the beginning. Avoid including experimental styles or times when you are intentionally imitating someone else. And if it's a famous style, they'll just keep delivering that style. Read your 3 to 5 examples back to back and highlight the elements that are common in them. Remember what I said, those phrases, those words. Get to know your voice. And if you need to write more, then write more. And if you don't like the voice, work with AI and find alternatives. Ask for suggestions. I constantly ask AI to review, edit, evaluate what I've written, and it really helps me focus and gives me some alternatives where then I can craft it to myself. That's one of the best uses of it. So now create a simple 1-page document with these sections. I want your sentence structure, the patterns you have, the vocabulary, topics you care about. Because if you're going to create content with AI, which are the ones you actually care about? So again, we get your voice, we get you. Tone, and this is one I love, what your communication is not. It's really hard to find your style in the beginning. But when you start with what my style is not, and when I show you the voice map at the end, we're going to bring this all together. But what it says is, what do I not want to represent? For example, I don't like corporate speak, so I don't represent corporate speak. I like mine to be more conversational, my language, my tone, so I communicate that. So under each heading, include 2 to 3 specific examples. But what my communication is not, give us 3 of those. 3 that they are not. I'm not corporate speak. I'm not into AI hype. That's not my style. And if I can give AI those not styles legally, but if I can show it some snippets of things that I don't like, that tells it, here's what I like, here's what I do. So obvious, but wait till we get to the next section. This is where it gets really good because you're giving it an idea of where you are, your style. Remember, AI doesn't automatically know what makes your communication special. You need to show it. And you know what? It's hard to feel special about our communication. AI can help us do that. Create a simple map of the different contexts you communicate in. Is it emails, presentations, social media, or reports? Select one strong example from each of the main categories, okay? And they have to be strong. Consider which communications have gotten the best response from others. These will probably be the ones with your strongest style elements. And a lot of times the ones that you love don't necessarily isn't the ones that they love. And remember, it's all up to the person reading and reviewing, not up to you. That's a good thing. Identify the evolution in your style. Some writers especially don't like this. They sort of go through their styles, what they were yesterday, they're not going to be today and definitely not tomorrow. Others like to see the evolution in the style. And if you can show, and you've been around, an early style, get 3 to 5 examples that show a continuity over time, you're going to be able to show something that is experience. AI doesn't have experience. That's what we want to load it up with. Our experience, so it knows our voice, our style, our brand, whatever the voice is, whether that's an HR memo or a pitch to a VC, it's still your voice. And until it's your voice and your style, and it's not just AI showing you what other people have done, you're going to get limited. So select examples from different periods and highlight similarities and differences. Which elements are consistent? And these are the foundation of your natural style. So make a conscious decision. Do you want AI to reflect your current style, your entire evolution, or do you want it to focus on a specific context, like a project you're working on right now? Remember the power of contrast. Sometimes defining what you're not is as powerful as defining what you are. Who are your influences? Then articulate how your approach differs from theirs. You could do this with ChatGPT. Here's my style. Here's the style of somebody famous. How does it differ? But if you do this exercise, you're going to learn why you liked that person's style and what part of it sort of reflects into you to bring together your unique, experiential, personal style. Creating a voice map. As you can see here, this is a voice map. I've created a visual diagram with your name at the center. And if you're watching, it shows branches for sentence structure. That's the patterns, vocabulary, the words you use, the topics, the 3 to 5 you're interested in, your tone, not just your opinion, but ask AI and different AIs to use their sentimentality and give you an idea of what you're really saying. You might be surprised sometimes. Be open to it. Communication goals is the final part. For each branch, add 3 to 5 special characteristics with real examples that you have, your work. If it's a photograph, if it's writing, whatever it is, show those good examples and show what wasn't good. Maybe it's your early work. And when sharing examples with AI, brief introductions are needed to explain the context. Always explain the context. For example, this is from a client email where I needed to explain a technical concept to a non-technical audience. Include notes about what you're trying to achieve with everything you do. See, what you're doing is giving it a context. And yes, it's a little detailed in the early part, but what you're going to get is a lot richer experience. I've seen my Claude save me amazing amounts of time in the time I've learned how to use it efficiently for me, for what I need to do this podcast. Because what we want AI to understand is not what you said, but why you said it. The purpose, the experience, the angle you have. Don't let yourself just be a replicant. And you know what it all comes down to? The right questions. Asking the right questions. And as we finish this one up, what we've learned is how to find your own style if you're starting or if you're just getting good. But asking the right questions is really key because we're asking about your style, but we want to identify your role and your goal. So often we're pushing this off to these, I'm a project manager writing a brief. No, I'm Declan Dunn. I'm CEO of the AI Optimist, and I'm sharing this with an employee at a meeting. Be specific. Now it knows you, give it context, let it understand what you're doing, and don't stray into assuming that there's some genius behind there that's going to spit out a great answer. That's playing roulette. I'm not talking about gambling. I'm talking about learning. Because while you're training AI, you should be training yourself, not only how to use AI, but what it can reveal to you that would have been really hard a few years ago to learn, that kind of personal style, things that are hard to ask people and hard to get feedback. And I still encourage you to do that, but also use AI to do that. That's what many miss. Start by establishing who you are and what you're trying to accomplish. Like, I'm a marketing consultant creating content for small business owners who are non-technical. This context helps AI understand the eyes it's looking through. So when you give it the request and the audience and your perspective, now probability works for you. One question at a time. Instead of like asking it to analyze your style, suggest improvements, and write something new all at once, break it into 3 separate asks. Example, what patterns do you notice in these samples of my communication? What do you notice? What are the patterns? Number 2, in a follow-up based on that, how might I make my explanation of the topic more engaging while maintaining my natural style? Get some feedback, and these are just beginners. Create your own prompts because it's going to be custom to what you do, your style, your voice. Provide specific examples. Don't just tell AI about your style. Show it. Don't tell. Show. I have to tell AI to do this. To use metaphors, to visualize. Remember, quality over quantity, always.
Hi.
Wait.